Yesterday I went pretty deep into the concept of emotional addiction, how it works, and how we can break free from it. But while editing the video, I had a realization that I'd never considered before. Emotional addiction isn't just about us, it's actually destroying our relationships too. So that made me think and realize that this is something that I should cover, so I've decided to make this a two-part topic. So with that said, think about this. If you've ever been in a relationship where, in a toxic relationship, or if you've ever been bullied, you probably stayed in that relationship longer than you should have. Maybe you felt stuck or like there was no way out of that relationship. Or maybe you kept going back to that same type of person thinking that it's going to be different this time. Because that can turn into a vicious cycle that continuously repeats over and over and over. So if you think about it, why? Why do we keep finding ourselves in these situations over and over again? The answer to that actually lies within our brains and our bodies. When we're in an abusive or a toxic relationship, our minds and bodies adapt to that stress and that experience and those emotions. Over time, we become addicted to those emotions and those hormones that are released from those situations. Those stress hormones like the cortisol and the adrenaline. These chemicals create pathways in our brains that actually make us crave more of the same. And that's even if it's bad for us. And that's why after leaving one toxic relationship, people will often find themselves in another one exactly like it. And it's not because we want to suffer, but instead it's because our bodies have been conditioned to seek out those conditions. And that's because that's what's familiar. But in my opinion, here's where it gets even more complicated. So let's say that you finally find yourself in a healthy, loving relationship. If you haven't addressed your emotional addiction, your subconscious mind will actually sabotage it, which also means that you're sabotaging and you don't even know it. You might just pick fights over like the smallest, stupidest shit. You probably push your partner away and stop putting anything into that relationship. But whatever it is, your addiction to those stress hormones can actually destroy a good thing. And in the process, you might even break the person that you're with. So think about this. Have you ever met somebody, or do you know somebody, who just seems to continuously jump from one bad relationship to another? Somebody who's always bitching about how there's no good men left in the world, or there's no good women left in the world. That person that shows up in the comments section all the time and says that all women are the same. Those people are convinced that the problem is always going to be somebody else, but they never stop to consider their own patterns. But what they don't realize is they're not just unlucky, they're actually addicted to it. More specifically, they're actually addicted to the chaos and to the drama and those emotional highs and lows that come with being in a toxic relationship. And this isn't only about romantic relationships either. Think about the drama queens, the ones who are always gossiping about everybody else. Have you ever stepped back and thought about, like, why the hell do they always do that? They do it because it actually gives them a rush, and they may not even realize that they're experiencing that rush. Talking trash about somebody actually triggers a hit of adrenaline because it's risky behavior. I know that probably sounds pretty stupid, but it really is risky behavior. Because what happens if that person that they're talking trash about finds out? Even though they may not consciously realize it, their brain is actually rewarding them for that risky behavior. That's the same kind of addiction, just showing up in a different way. There again, the good news is we can change that. We can reprogram our minds and create new neural pathways. But it takes effort and intention and a deep desire to actually break free from that cycle. And you have to want it just as much as you want to breathe. So I want to talk about how we can do that, especially in the context of relationships. Every relationship starts with a honeymoon phase where everything feels exciting and new. You're on top of the world and your partner just doesn't seem, or your partner can't do wrong. But eventually that phase will end. And when it does, that's when the real work begins. And to sustain a healthy relationship, you have to constantly nurture it, or you have to invest in it. And that means making time for each other with real, undistracted time. So try something simple. My wife and I, we do this every single night. Simply put on some mellow music, go cook a meal together, help each other cook and help each other do the dishes. And then all you have to do is sit down and have a meal together. Put your phones on the counter or someplace where they won't distract you, where they will not interrupt your time, and sit down and have a nice conversation over your dinner or over your, whatever time of day it is, whatever meal you are eating. And then once you're done eating, get up and help each other clean up, do the dishes, clean up the table, the countertops, whatever's left after cooking. And then break out a deck of cards or break out a puzzle. Maybe even sit down and just watch a movie together. And I know this may sound small and it may even seem like it's irrelevant. But these moments of connection, they are actually the foundation of a true, long-lasting relationship. Whatever you decide to do, whatever it is that you can decide to do, just make it simple, but make it something where there's a true connection, where you can share a common goal with that other person without any distractions. And I believe that another key is physical touch. That's because we all need affection. And it doesn't matter whether it's cuddling, hugging, holding hands, it doesn't matter. We actually need it. That's because physical touch will release a hormone called oxytocin. It's also been coined as the love hormone. And that's the chemical that makes us feel connected to all of the people that we care about. And I do realize that for some people, physical touch, it doesn't feel like it comes natural. And that could come from multiple different places, like past traumas or just simply just conditioning. But if you want that relationship, if you want that connection, you can reprogram your mind to where you thoroughly enjoy it. Start small and gradually and allow yourself to enjoy that experience. And breaking free from that emotional addiction, it also requires self-awareness. And you do that by recognizing your patterns. So ask yourself, why do I keep ending up in these same relationships? What am I seeking from these experiences and these relationships? Because you need to be able to identify the root of the problem. And as soon as you're able to identify that root of the problem, then you are able to fix it. And then one of the, that leads into one of the most powerful tools that you have to fix this problem, and that's mindfulness. Because when you actually address it, when you look within yourself to find what the problem is, you are actually being mindful. So learn how to sit with your emotions instead of reacting to them. When you feel that pull of conflict and of drama, all you have to do is take a step back and ask yourself, is this emotion helping me? Is this feeling that I'm experiencing right now helping me? Or am I just feeding my addiction? Also, I would also say, don't be afraid to seek help, like professional help, because breaking an emotional addiction, it's going to be hard work. The concepts are simple, but the process is not going to be easy. And it is okay to ask for help. And that could be, you could be asking help from a professional. You could ask for help from a friend, from a family member, just another loved one. You can ask for help. And this is important because having people around you or some sort of a support network around you from people that are going to hold you accountable and encourage you, it's going to make all of the difference. You have to remember that you are not your past and you are not your patterns. You do have the power to change, to heal, to build long-lasting, healthy relationships. Not only long-lasting, healthy relationships, but fulfilling relationships as well. And free yourself from those chains of emotional addiction that are keeping you tied down. So if you're somebody who's been struggling with toxic relationships or emotional turmoil, just know this. It's not too late to rewrite your story and break that cycle, because you can reprogram your brain. You can create the kind of love and connection that you truly deserve. It all starts with recognizing the addiction and making the decision to change. I'm going to encourage you to take that first step today or take that first step at your next possible opportunity. Because like I said, this isn't only for romantic relationships. This could be your coworkers, this could be your best friend, this could be one of your loved ones. And it just might save your relationship, and more importantly, it just might save yourself. So if you found this video before watching the part 1 episode of this 2-part series, I'm going to put an info card in the top left corner of the screen so that you can go watch that, because I believe that that's an extremely important starting place or starting point. And I break down our emotional addictions in depth. I break down why these emotional addictions happen and how you can actually go about fixing them. So if you made it this far, do me a favor and go down in the comments section and put that one word, emotions. Just that one word, emotions. I'm asking for those one-word comments because they don't take really any time. It's one thing that you guys can do to support the channel if you found value in the content. Because every single like, comment, and subscribe that this channel sees, that helps the algorithm push this content out to more people who might also find value in it as well. But I'm sure you can tell I'm running out of sunlight. It seems to happen quite often anymore. I think we're only getting like 8 hours of sunlight here right now, if even that. So I really got to figure something out. Anyway, I appreciate all your guys' generosity. I appreciate your guys' support. Thank you to everybody who's been generous enough to give super chats or super thanks. You guys blow me away. I can't believe everybody's generosity and everybody's support, because you guys all keep me going and motivated to do this every day. And this is extremely therapeutic for me as well. This is an opportunity for me to get out of my comfort zone. It's 40 degrees right now, and I'm out here walking around in the middle of the forest, talking to myself and talking to you guys. Anyway, if you can't tell, the lighting's terrible, so I got to cut this and get back to my vehicle. I appreciate every one of you guys. I appreciate you for showing up, and I hope like hell that you guys are showing up for yourselves. And I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful day. Peace.